What's going on? It's your man Diamond K in here, of course, the Diamond K Show on firetelevision.com. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. Here in the program, we deliver the biggest political and trending news stories of the day with interviews and original reporting from across this country. Show is fun, the show is upbeat, but I also have to expose what is really happening in America. New episodes of the show drop daily, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. on firetelevision.com. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Hit that notification bell so you get an alert whenever we go live. Follow me on social media at The Diamond K Show. Earlier this week, Whoopi Goldberg got into a lot of controversy. So, on the View show, and 25 years, I didn't realize that program had been on for 25 years. So Whoopi Goldberg, of course, an actress, TV personality. She is on the ABC program, The View. And they were having a discussion earlier this week about the Tennessee school board ban on the graphic novel that is about the Nazi death camp in World War II. So this book has been around, for years, and it's something that is made in a way that I guess younger people are supposed to be able to connect with and make it a little bit more interesting for them. But I mean, the book is still, kind of grown. It's kind of adult, right? There's profanity, there's nudity. There is a depiction of suicide, and the Tennessee board thought that this was inappropriate for 13-year-olds. So this has been in the news, and this is what sparked the controversial comments from Whoopi Goldberg. Now, not only controversial, but just wrong. Just the comments were wrong, historically incorrect. Right? She's old enough to know better, I think. But so she made these statements, and they got her in a whole world of mess. So, and what happens when you make these statements, there's certain communities that you make these statements, and that community is going to hold you accountable. Jewish people are one of those communities. The LGBTQ folks are communities that when you're loud and wrong, or when you are spewing hate or misinformation, they're going to hold you to account. I wish that we did a better job at holding folks accountable when they spew hate or misinformation about us, or try to minimize our struggles. Now, until we get there, when we can get there, we're not there yet. But as it relates to Jewish folks, they're not going to tolerate too much, minimizing of the Holocaust, which was a terrible thing. So I think that everybody can agree that it was terrible. Well, the folks that acknowledge that it happened, which it obviously did. All right. So they're having this conversation, and they're talking about, Nazis and all of this. This is always has been a sensitive subject because of the loss of life, just the sheer loss of life. So the Nazis believed themselves an Aryan master race. It killed at least 6 million Jews during the Holocaust of World War II. Monday's discussion, as I said, stems from this book. Now, in the book, they depict Jews as mice and the Nazis as cats. So this book has won numerous awards and all of that. And the school board, like I said, wants to ban it because of the profanity, the nudity, and just the depictions of suicide. So Whoopi Goldberg said that she was surprised. The nudity is what made folks uncomfortable, right? She's been on the show since 2007. She's 66 years old. You would think the way she carries herself, you would think that she knew history, right? So she says that, It's about the Holocaust, the killing of 6 million people, but that didn't bother you. And, I guess she was trying to be, I don't know what she was trying to say. We talk about death in schools all the time. We talk about war in schools all the time. World War I, World War II, the Civil War, the American Revolution, all the different, the War of 1812, all these wars, Vietnam, all of these things. There's death involved. So the sheer mention of death is, if we're not going to talk about death, there's no history that they can talk about in school. I mean, everything has touched on death in some way. So her statements with regards to that surprised me. But she, sometimes she's been on The View for a long time, since 2007, and sometimes she forgets. She forgets, and it's nothing like a controversy to bring you back to reality, right? So co-hosts are pointing out things, obvious things, and they're trying to reel her in because she's out here on a limb talking loud and wrong. So co-host Joy points out that the Nazis said that the Jews were a different race, right? They're trying to, casually, politely reel her back in. But Whoopi Goldberg, she ain't trying to be reeled in. She thinks she knows what she's talking about, and because she's 66 years old, you would think that maybe she might have a understanding, but no. Now Whoopi Goldberg is a stage name, right? Her name is Karen Elaine Johnson, but I go by stage name, right? Diamond K is my stage name, right? So, but she adopted this Jewish surname, so I think that she feels that she's an authority on this. But she is an actor, she's a comedian, she's an author, she's a TV personality. She is not a historian, clearly. She is not a historian, and but you don't even have to be a historian to know these things. I'm just surprised that she did not know. So when Joy pointed out that the Nazis said that the Jews were a different race, Goldberg, she ain't gonna back down, nothing like loud and ignorant. So Goldberg says it's not about race. It's not. It's about man's inhumanity to other men. When she said that, I'm like, oh, she's going down this slope. She's going downhill at this point. There's no brakes that's going to stop her, right? And Anna Navarro says that it's about white supremacy, right? So they're trying to reel her back in. They're trying to throw her a lifeline. They're trying to educate this 66-year-old who should know better, you would think. And so she reminded her it's about going after Jews and gypsies. And, they're trying to point this stuff out and get her to remember. Goldberg says, but these are groups of white people. While the conversation is good, I'm glad that they're having these kind of conversations. And you have some people that feel that this kind of disinformation, the ABC via The View, giving this type of misinformation a platform is harmful. I don't think it's harmful because I think there are folks who believe what Whoopi is saying. The folks that just don't know. And having this kind of conversation is healthy to try to get the masses to see. So because we have these conversations in such a delicate space, that's how you have folks who are ignorant and don't know. So we need to have these conversations, and we need to have them in the public square, right? But in the end, we have to get to the truth and the reality. So Whoopi comes back and she says, but you're missing the point. The minute you turn it into race, it goes down this alley. Let's talk about it for what it is. It's how people treat each other. It's a problem. Now, it is a problem, but you cannot minimize the death that happened at the Holocaust. Are you crazy? Like, we don't want somebody minimizing the struggle of Black people and the death and the lynchings and all the stuff we went through. So we cannot, as Black people, as anybody, minimize the death and the struggle of the Holocaust. Like, we have to understand and call things for what they are. So we're talking about history. We're talking about folks trying to whitewash history with the critical race theory discussion, which we'll have that conversation another day. But if we're going to be honest and we talk about things, we have to call out for what it is. This was not because he was just evil, Dr. Evil. That's not what it was. It was so much deeper than that. So much deeper than that. Behind the camera, they kind of sent it to a break. It went to a commercial, and it just, everything went to the left at that point. So, of course, Twitter's blowing up. You have folks from the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, the watchdogs, all, it just went crazy for her. So I knew that something was going to happen, and the Jewish people were looked at as an inferior race. That right there, by the Nazis, that right there shows you this was about race. Hitler, in his infinite stupidity, thought that everyone that wasn't what he deemed an Aryan, white person was an inferior race. So, of course, the folks came at Whoopi, and they came at her hard. So, of course, she felt the whole backlash. It was breathing hot air right on the back of her neck. She felt it. And as the criticism grew, she apologized. The Jewish people around the world have always had my support, and that will never waver, she said. I'm sorry for the hurt that I have caused. Now, on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, she attempted to, clarify her comments. She said that the Nazis had lied and actually had issues with ethnicity and not race, which caused further offense and prompted another apology on The View the next day. So it's just like she couldn't help but continue to put her foot in her mouth. Not sure why, how, like, what, are you really that slow? Like, is she really that slow? So it was just a baffling claim that she made. And but as I said, these conversations force many to ask tough questions about race, about identity, and I am not opposed to us having these conversations, but in the end, we have to get to the truth. So these false claims can be made if people think it, misconceptions and the such, but we have to address them. And when it's made, you don't want to just silence the person for having these wrong thoughts. You have to show them the right way. So she made this claim, and to some people it was painful. Some people it was shocking. To me, it was just baffling at her ignorance. So the apology follows, and she gets a 2-week suspension. Right? She gets a 2-week suspension. So she brought on a member, a prominent member of the Jewish community, and the next day on The View, and so they're trying to have a teachable moment. They're trying to find the way through this, and it's called The View. So folks have different thoughts, and if the thoughts are wrong, that doesn't mean that they should be shunned because they are wrong. Yeah, I the cancel culture thing. I got a major problem with that. I have a major problem with the cancel culture thing. So reports are that Whoopi's upset that she was suspended, and members supposedly of the show are upset because she was suspended. But at the end of the day, they don't run it. right? They don't run it. And the other thing, what does her suspension really solve? Her suspension does not solve the problem of anti-Semitism, right? And by no means was anything she did anti-Semitic. So she apologized for her comments, but ABC felt that her actions were maybe hollow. And yeah, I mean, the apology that she gave and then went on the Late Show and said what she said. Maybe they said she don't mean that. She just talking trash, and she kind of doubled down. Growing up in Baltimore, religion was all around me. There were churches, Jehovah's Witness, Jewish folks, Catholic, Muslim, all different types of religions. And Jewish people specifically, I think that just like black people, African Americans, Jewish identity is more complicated than our binary thinking may allow, because some Jewish people appear to be white, right? So when Whoopi Goldberg said that the Holocaust was about man's inhumanity to man and not about race, on The View, she said that this is white people doing it to white people, so y'all going to fight amongst yourselves. She incorrectly thought that the white people and the Jewish people are the same. Of course, the backlash was angry. The backlash was immediate, and Jewish groups thought that she was uninformed and ignorant. This is also related to how the school systems teach these subjects. A lot of people don't even know that the 6 million Jewish people were murdered. Some people may not even know what the Holocaust is, and this is because of the shoddy way that schools are run. That's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day. The Nazis were very clear that their genocide campaign was to exterminate Jews because they believed that they were an inferior race. They were very clear about that. This hateful belief fuels the white supremacy ideology. And because of this type of thinking, there's a growing number of anti-Semitic attacks. Growing number of them. So Whoopi Goldberg issues her apology hours after her comments. She goes on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. She apologized. And she noted that as a black person, she thinks of racism based on skin color. A lot of people do. That's a very common view in America, where we categorize folks a lot by skin color. So then in a live conversation the next day that included a prominent member of the Jewish community, Jonathan Greenblatt, he is of the ADL, she said that it was indeed about race because Hitler and the Nazis considered Jews to be an inferior race. Whoopi Goldberg said that now words matter, and mine are no exception. I regret my comments, as I said, and I stand corrected. I also stand with the Jewish people as they know, and y'all know, because I've always done that. I thought that was a good apology. I thought that was a sincere apology. ABC, however, thought differently. We're going to talk a little bit more about that after this. On Fire Television is an advertiser-supported audio and video network. Get breaking news, podcasts, TV shows, all covering topics that are important to our culture. OnFireTelevision.com is where you go to discover, engage, and connect with the latest news, podcast, and of course, original TV programs. You want to support the Diamond K Show and this digital network? Very easy to do that. Head on over to onfiretelevision.com, grab a t-shirt, some other merch. You can become a sponsor for the Diamond K Show for as little as $50. I'm able to deliver our news and our views because of our sponsors, our listeners, and we are powered by the people and appreciate and love your support. The Diamond K Show brought to you in part by jstoverbeauty.com. I want to talk directly to my ladies out there. If you're looking for those must-have beauty products, look no further. jstoverbeauty.com has quality wigs, Indian hair extensions, virgin hair extensions, professional hair care products, edge control, flat iron mist, mink eyelashes, satin wig bags, wax sticks, lace concealer, and so much more. jstoverbeauty.com also does custom wig maintenance, wig making, revamp services. You can check them out on social media. JStover Beauty on Instagram, JStover Beauty LLC on Facebook, and to make your orders, jstoverbeauty.com. The Diamond K Show is also brought to you by Nurture by Natasha. This is a wellness and holistic company specializing in natural products and services. They are based right here in Baltimore, but shipped throughout the country. Nurture by Natasha is running a membership special called the Bestie, like best friend. Anyway, if you become a bestie, membership includes all types of monthly promotions. You get different items every month. There's no need to go anywhere because your products get shipped directly to your home from the good folks over at Nurture by Natasha. Keep your skin glowing. Maintain that healthy, youthful appearance. Your skin is going to thank you. Become a bestie today. Head on over to nurturebynatasha.com. Tell them Diamond K sent you. Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here. Of course, you miss any episodes of the show, you can get us anywhere you get podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Of course, the app WRF Radio, YouTube.com/DJ Diamond K, Facebook at The Diamond K Show. So, despite those apologies, despite her saying that she was sorry, despite backtracking, despite bringing a member of the ADL on the show to try to clear things up, ABC suspended Whoopi Goldberg for 2 weeks. I think that they missed a big opportunity. Now, on the surface, you may think that they took a decisive action in response to the ignorant comments made by Whoopi Goldberg and her statements, which really marginalized a entire community. That's probably what they want you to think. Now, in a statement, the ABC News president said that while Whoopi has apologized, I've asked her to take time to reflect and learn about the impact of her comments. They want to school her, right? The statement went on to say that the entire ABC News organization stands in solidarity with our Jewish colleagues, friends, families, and communities. Now, and I spoke about this earlier, when someone disparages or marginalizes the Black community, these networks don't take those same steps. They don't take those same actions. And why? Why is that? I was talking to somebody and they said that it's because the Jewish people and the LGBT are a protected community. They're a protected group of people. Now, Black people, we can demand this same type of treatment, but it takes unity. It takes us putting our money where our mouth is. So yes, we don't control these networks. We don't own these networks. We don't run these networks, but we are consumers who have power in the dollar. We can unify by not supporting companies when they disparage us, when they put images out there that marginalize us or are racist or demeaning, or when a network does or allows its host to say things that hurt our community or show us in a negative light or untruthful way, we could do that. But you got a lot of folks that are going to be defending and not with it, right? So, and that's why we have this no unity. We need to get that unity. We need to enact some of the unity that the Jewish community, that the LGBTQ community does when they talk crazy about our black women. Another story for another day, but I'm just trying to say we have to do that. So ABC missed a major opportunity here. The suspension is really hollow. It's like a spectacle almost. They're trying to douse the firestorm. They're trying to, have a PR move against the critical tweets, right? They're trying to make a bad situation better. That's what they want you to think. And that might even have been what they're trying to do. But instead of providing a much needed platform for education, Whoopi Goldberg ain't the only person that thinks like this. Wrong, yes. But this was an opportunity to school some folks for real. The company completely dropped the ball. This was a critical opportunity to engage in honest, much needed dialogue that could have led to some real healing. So they didn't do that. That's not what happened. So I suppose that Whoopi Goldberg is going to come back. I suppose we're going to see. She ain't like she got a whole lot else to do. I mean, she could start a new show somewhere else, I suppose. But at the end of the day, I think she's going to be back begrudgingly. She's going to get over it. And the other folks on the show, they're going to get over it. There are going to be other comments like this. And we need to take those moments to have the tough conversations, to have the honest conversations, and to really make progress. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. Of course, I will be back here tomorrow. I'm enjoying this daily format. 8 a.m., 8 p.m. You miss any episodes anywhere you get your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, of course, WRF Radio app, youtube.com/DJ Diamond K, and of course, our home base on firetelevision.com, thediamondkshow.com.